Okay, so the next in the series of deep relaxation exercises, we'll be learning to focus on our Dantian Hara. Now that is the lower belly. I can't see in the video, but I'm just gesturing down here. Here's my belly button. 3 soon below the belly button here, sorry, there, is considered to be the center of the alchemical cauldron, and we'll talk about and deal with things like that more carefully later. But also our center of motion is down there. It's the place where our hips meet our legs and where our hips meet our spine, and that little complex of bones and the musculature that works around that is the center of our physical action. And that's going to be very, very important in the long run if you want to learn how to use soft martial arts to help heal your body. The functional thing is you need to learn to control both your posture and your movement from the center. And there's hard ways of doing that and there's soft ways of doing that. And so here in the soft martial arts, we want to learn first to connect to softness to our Dantian Hara in the Japanese. And we want to take that forward into further practices. So we will examine some more complex Qigong elements and meditation methods. But for now, we're just looking at deep relaxation. And it's worth saying we're really learning how to connect the neural network to the sensations down there. There's a huge plexus of nerves. Is it called the lumbar plexus, I believe? And it's a lot of neural mass. And it really helps us to learn balance and control and visceral movement of any kind at all is really going to be, in order to do that well, we have to actually connect to the Dantian and Hara, which means practicing just the simple basics of feeling our Hara. So again, we will talk about these things more complexly later on. This is a very important point in the body. And it's also very important for deep relaxation. So it's going to be probably the main spot you want to work on over the years as a soft martial artist. There's something to be said for the contact points with the ground, deep relaxation and down weightedness. We're trying to make all of those one over time. When I'm doing Aikido the very best that I am, I feel like the weight is on the underside of my arm, and I feel myself moving from my center, and I'm deeply relaxed. And I'm extending with that kind of an energy, not with a rigid kind of an energy. So we're going to try and cultivate that through deep relaxation first and the gradual development of how to move our center correctly as a way of actuating movement through the body. So all that being said, we're going to just do a deep relaxation meditation now, about 10 minutes on the Dantian Hara region. And I really mean when you're doing deep relaxation, the whole region. So there's this cup right down in your hips. If you go look at some pictures of skeletons online, look at that cup at the pelvic girdle, and rest into that, relax down into that. One thing that should be said really quick again is that you want to graduate your deep relaxation exercises from lying down to sitting in seiza or cross-legged. Seiza is on knees. And if you can't do either of those yet, go ahead and sit in a chair. That's a great place too. You're just gradually trying to wed deep relaxation with gentle muscular exertion. So that static posture of just sitting is exactly the place to start. But if you haven't done any of these things before, I highly recommend lying down, getting cozy, and just feeling your Hara, feeling your Dantian. So feeling that whole girdle down in there, feeling the lumbar region as well, the back side a bit. Feel that whole region. And if you're sitting, it's one thing. If you're lying, it's another. I'm going to process out loud as best I can. I'm sitting in seiza, so it'll be a little bit different than if you're lying down right now. Go ahead and just bring your mind down into your dantian. Feel the way your breath moves it. You've probably heard breathe from your dantian before. Don't do that yet. We will talk about that over time. Right now, we're just letting go of all doing. Just be. Breath moving gently down there. The expansion of the entire region and the contraction thereof when you breathe out. You shouldn't actually be contracting your abs to breathe out, ideally. If you're sitting up, your abs have to fire in order to keep you upright. They're balancing with your low back muscles. And this is that gradual development of muscular activity and deep relaxation. But if you're lying down, even that is gone and you can just be. So don't try and push the air out. It's actually gravity that lets the air out. Down there in your dantian, you'll feel some of the same stuff you felt in your hands. I can feel the clothing moving against my skin as I breathe. The gentle waves of balance that come from my dantian as I try and remain upright and relaxed. I can feel myself compressing down into the earth. When deep relaxations hit me, an either unwinding sensation happens or a release that feels like I sink downward subtly, and all through my body too. So I feel these things and I just let them be. Keep my mind on my dantian. Breathing in and out. For some reason, I'm really feeling the skin of me right now and how it moves against my clothing and my waistband. I just felt a deep sigh of relaxation emerge from my lowest dantian, right down there where my urinary bladder is. It feels real good, and as I let go, I just feel myself in this upright posture. I actually become sort of more upright without trying. The weebles wobble, but they don't fall down thing. Like the sand has all sunk to the bottom and the air is on top. I can feel myself pressing into the earth. Gravity dragging me down to the center of the earth. I don't resist a bit. So way down deep, way down deep today, I can feel, excuse me, my throat's rough again. The thing I was noticing was that my skeleton is sort of vaguely out of alignment. And in some ways, it's actually pretty out of alignment in my spine. And I don't try and correct anything while I'm doing deep relaxation. Ideally, I just rest. Sometimes you're in too much pain, like something needs to pop in your back. Just go ahead and crack it. But, if an itch is loud enough, go ahead and scratch it. Don't sit there and fuss. Have your meditation ruined by that. Don't resist. Deep relaxation training is about surrender on a certain level. Earlier, I was meditating and I ran into a layer of relaxation while I was laying on the ground. It was a sensation of fear that if I let go, something bad would happen. Deep down in me, deep in my deep tensions. And you don't try and fix it, you just look at it, breathe, and observe the very things that are causing your tension. In that case, was a kind of fear. You'll actually discover in deep relaxation meditation that there's a fear layer in all of us. A lot of our tensions kind of come from not processing that fear very well. So as you do this deep relaxation, feel that dantian. Let go of everything. You'll find deep layers in you that are emotionally bound up. Don't try and fix them. Just observe. Feel the skin moving against your dantian. Feel the bones and their alignment in your skeleton. All the little lumbar joints. A huge space down there. Breathing in and breathing out. Gradually mapping the space. I can feel lines of tension, deep tension. Not going to let go today. That's okay. I've suffered a lot of pain in my life, and these sorts of things are just there, and that's okay. I'm missing 1.5 inches of length in my thigh, and these things are just there. Makes my gait very difficult. Much harder for me to walk than the average human being. And that's okay. Oh, as I process those thoughts, I run into a layer of emotion that's a sadness for myself on a certain level, a fear that I'll always be in pain, a happiness that I get to explore these things and try and learn and help myself. This commingled emotion as I feel it, it's actually sending like deep relaxations through my body, but also chills, like tingles and goose flesh all up and down my skin. I can feel how tense my face is. Open my eyes, look. Yes, my face was too tense. If you're lying on your back, you probably feel the pressure of your low back and butt pressing down into the earth. I feel the underside of my pelvic floor and so on, sort of sinking and resting deeper and deeper into relaxation. Oh, every time I get a good release, I have a big breath. Go ahead and take those big breaths. Your mind drifts away. That's okay. Don't be concerned about it. Just enjoy the process and come back to your dantian. Hang out here a lot. I'm going to blink my eyes open. That's been about 10 minutes. Let myself come up out of there a little bit. Of course, I wasn't as deep because I was trying to process and talk aloud, and that brings up a whole extra set of things as you're learning. But nevertheless, I'm more relaxed. My hands are warmer. My legs are starting to feel that I've been in Seiza for 10 minutes, and that does build some blood flow and the ischemia, hyperemia stuff. We'll talk about those things over time. But don't sit in Seiza too long or cross-legged too long. You can make your legs numb, and once you go there, I'm not really certain if there's any sort of health benefit. Instead, just recognize that the compression will help you gradually, just gently extend your blood flow. And you just want to gently do it bit by bit, not too much at a time. And if you can sit for about 10 minutes, you can usually get through an Aikido class, and that's enough, because they don't usually have you sit 10 minutes at a time. Okay, so if you're lying down, great. Again, Seiza, seated on a chair, cross-legged. We're gradually going to work these guys up to standing and just working on that basic thing. So yeah, listen to each video several times, try and get used to the meditations, use them as the crutch, throw them away, come back on a day when your mind is crazy. And I'll try and do one or two that aren't just instructional before the end. And yeah,